cannot stand YouTube. Oh, I'm on YouTube. It's like trying to watch instructional videos or videos that help me sell. And
personal experiences with them, or I know from word of mouth from other artists who have had experiences with them as well, who have said good things about them. So we're just going to go through a few of your options on what you can choose, and then you can make your own mind up once the video is finished on which ones you want to pursue yourself. The first place I'm going to mention is Artfinder. It's a site where I've been selling my work for about 4 to 5 years, and it's actually the first place I ever sold a piece of work, so I hold it quite close to my heart. The reason I like Artfinder so much is the fact that it's got a really good design, it's really easy to navigate, you've got great ways to get in touch with customers and to create this kind of dialogue with potential customers and clients. So when a customer purchases a piece of work from Artfinder, you are able to send them a message and they can send you messages back, and you can have a really good bit of banter with them and stuff. Sometimes they don't want to talk, but sometimes they do, and it is really nice to have that in place. Another thing I really like about Artfinder is the fact that I have complete control over when I can ship my works, how to package my works, and it's all kind of done on your own back. They don't kind of do it for you. It's up to you to package your own work, to find the company to deliver that to the customer, and I enjoy having that control, whereas some of the websites, they do it for you, and it can be a bit rushed and whatnot, whereas Artfinder, it's all up to you. Another couple of great features on Artfinder are the artist forum, where artists on the site can create dialogue and have a conversation with one another about whatever issues they might be having, any bugs on the site, any issues. It's really good, and sometimes you can have some really good conversations with certain artists, some quite quirky characters on Artfinder, which is always quite interesting. They also have a feature called Me at Work, where you can upload images, videos of behind the scenes footage of you working in the studio and stuff, so customers can relate and see what it is you're doing and what you're up to, and it's a lot more engaging than what other sites can be. Artfinder has a commission structure, so they take 33% commission from artist sales straight off the price of your artwork. So if you are going to go with Artfinder, make sure to take into account that these commissions and fees are going to be taken off, and price your work accordingly. Obviously, if you've got very narrow margins on your artwork, you're going to have to keep that in mind, otherwise you run the risk of losing money. Obviously, all sites online and, well, pretty much all sites online and all real galleries and whatnot take a commission. It's not unusual, it's not strange, it's not weird. They have to make money, they have a business to run, and 33% is their commission, so just keep that in mind. Other than that, I find it is a really warm site. I don't have many negative feelings towards it. It's all been relatively positive, and you've got a real kind of community vibe to it. It's got great design, great graphics, easy to upload work, and it's definitely a site that I would recommend, especially starting off. You do have to apply to sell on Artfinder. It's not something you can just go for and upload stuff and then away you go. You do have to apply to sell on Artfinder. So whether you get accepted or not, depending on the quality of your artwork, is obviously up to the people of Artfinder. But it's definitely a site I would recommend, especially if you're starting out, or even if you're just struggling to figure out where to sell your work. Artfinder is definitely one I would recommend personally. The next site I would recommend to sell your artwork would be Saatchi Art. I have sold a few pieces of work on Saatchi Art, and I do quite enjoy it. It's not my go-to. I much prefer Artfinder over Saatchi Art, and the reason for this is when someone purchases something from Saatchi Art, that you don't you don't get any dialogue, you don't get to get in touch with the customer or anything like that. You basically get sent over an email that said that this person's bought it, you need to package your piece of work up, stick your stickers on or whatever, and they send a courier to come along and pick it up, and that.
Oh, it's buffering. I'm looking at different places I can sell my artwork, so if you have any suggestions, please put in the comment area. I've just been dealing with stuff.
That's it. There's no review system like there is on Artfinder, so you never really get any feedback from customers. And some people might really like that. They might like to just package the work up, sell it, gone, and not have to worry about kind of the customer feedback aspect of selling your artwork. But for me, I really enjoy it. It helps you improve as an artist. It helps you, even if you get negative criticism or positive criticism, it helps you figure out what you need to do, what needs fixing, what needs sorting out. And although sometimes it can be a bit disheartening if you get a negative review or if you get a negative comment, it is really helpful to have. I also don't find Saatchi art as easy to navigate as Artfinder. I don't find the design of the site as good as Artfinder, but I do quite enjoy it. The reason I do like Saatchi art is the quality of that other artwork that's on the site. There is some really, really nice pieces of artwork on there at a really good price point too. And that's one thing Saatchi art has over Artfinder. From the very beginning, they had a system in place where someone could only upload a piece of work at a certain price point. So I think it might be $100. I'm not 100% sure, but that's the base level. You can't go under the $100 mark. Whereas Artfinder, they never used to have that. So you would see people uploading artworks for £1, £5, £10, and quite frankly, if you're going to buy a piece of artwork for £5, £1, or £10, you're going to get £1, or £5, or £10 worth of work, and it's not going to be very good. So Saatchi art, it kind of eliminates all that kind of, I don't want to call it tat, but kind of the really just naff stuff. It gets rid of that. And you find with Saatchi art that there is a high quality of artwork on the site. There is still some lower quality work, but overall, there's the quality of the work is a lot higher, I find personally. Artfinder are implementing a price cap, and I think I'm pretty sure they've already done it so that the minimum price of an artwork can be, I think it's about £20-25, I might be wrong. But I think they could do a lot more. I think it could go up higher, so that there's less kind of cheap stuff clogging up the site, and that's why I do like Saatchi art.
Probably not a place for me because he's talking about low quality art, which, you know, he could have that view as low quality art, but I would assume, safely assume, I would say, that what I do he would consider low quality art.
And they've also got discounts on their sites. So
But he is right. If you're gonna pay like $5,
keep all of
you're
that
getting
in mind
$5. You know,
But it is a really good website to sell
the reason why I would sell, I would not sell my original, but sell my image, is because I want multiple $5 from a lot of people, opposed to, you know, $200 for one person for the entire image. I want to make that $200 from a lot of people. When I was with paint pushers, they couldn't understand that. That was they're all mainly painters like this guy. They couldn't understand a demographic outside their own business model. They really couldn't. Because I got told, like, I did a Ford truck and I did a print and I was doing car shows and I did I don't like to do lettering. I really do not like to do lettering, and I did lettering on computer. Of course, in college, the graphic artist professor said that, you know, that's no, you're not supposed to do that. So yeah, whatever. You know, graphic artists can tell. You know, artists can tell the difference. Most layperson cannot tell the difference. You know, they tell us we can't do that. You know, of course I'm going to do it. But then again, and they spawn off that most people are visually illiterate. Okay, and I'll agree, most people are visually illiterate. Uh, they're not taught what makes good art, or the principles of art or whatnot. Like they're taught English and so forth and writing, because it doesn't, because more often than not you're going to write a piece of paper opposed to draw it, even though drawing is really another form of communication. I mean, if it wasn't, politicians wouldn't hate political cartoons so much, because every politician does not like political cartoons about them, because normally it portrays them and sends a message and basically draws a message, showing them mainly in a negative light. And that's why they don't like it. And it's because of that, it's actually more memorable than written word. Not all the time, but some of the time, a lot of the time. And it's hard to, for people to not to visualize. Once they say it, it's hard for them not to visualize it, especially if it has power. Same reason why Daisy, the political commercial, was taken offline and never shown, because it had that visual power. It did not have someone saying a dialogue. It had a countdown, but that whole countdown and that whole commercial had a visual power that basically spoke volumes, especially at the time. Nowadays you look at it like, oh, it's relatively mild, but at the time that was not mild at all. That was a pretty radical idea. So, um, so I forgot what tangent I was on, because I'm trying to draw and listen to this dude. But I'm sure Art Finder would probably find me lowbrow. Just how I felt, and it seemed to me that paint pushers found me lowbrow. It's just, I don't hate the group. I think they should only allow certain people. I find them very cliquey, and I was all right in the group for a certain point of time, but once I think once my marriage was starting to go south and so forth, since my wife was involved, the sides and the lines were definitely drawn. So I'm playing a game as well, and I forgot. Oh yeah, Hellspawn. But oh well, I like to be in an artist group. I mean, I try to get my realm of artists in there, and female or otherwise, and they said the same thing. It's just a bunch of chicks painting flowers. And then I'm not saying that they were bad artists or anything, but that's basically what they were, doing, painting flowers and overly thinking and crying. We lost a lot of male members, because of that. They wanted to be fine artists. They wanted to be, paint on canvas, show in a gallery. I never wanted that. I wanted to be more of an illustrator. I wanted to draw in color, and I always called myself a refrigerator artist. That's where my art hung, was on the refrigerator. I wanted people to enjoy my artwork and put it in their cubicle so they would have a laugh during the day. I wanted them to have a more personal interaction, than opposed to just buying it because it looks nice and it goes with their couch and they hang it over the wall. They're going to hang it over the couch because it goes with the decor. And then once it doesn't go with the decor, it's out. I wanted people to relate and laugh. That's kind of where I'm at. And I'm still looking at this game and talking and being distracted. I shouldn't do like 50 million things at once. But that's the way that I operate. Because I'm a crazy person. And I could use more health bonds of higher rank. Doom, doom, doom. When the night has come and the land is dark and the ocean it crumbles to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no I won't shed a tear just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Whoa, stand by me. Stand by me. And the crowd we look upon should tumble and fall. And the ocean can crumble to the sea. Actual fact, I'm doing my sketches for what I'm gonna do for for my Christmas card. I didn't get the Christmas card out last year. I'm gonna get it out this year. Spend the money. It's always a good thing. I always love doing the Christmas card. I always try to do it on something that was within my life at the time. And truth be known, my star topper is not a star, it's Superman. And the greatest things of me finally being single is that I can decorate the tree however I want. And I got no interference. All my ornaments are personal. They're part of my story, of my life, of what I've gone through. I find that there's 2 times in the year you should take remembrance on your year. One is around Christmas and be thankful for how it was, and the other is your birthday, and ask yourself, okay, have I done what I wanted to do this year? I think that is very important. So, so, so I'm just kind of sketching out some stuff. Kind of feeling down the dumps today, and I went out with a friend yesterday, and it didn't go as well as I would have liked. It was certain stories of mine was apparently making her upset, and she asked, and I told the story and told what I was frustrated, and why I was frustrated, and why I don't put up with the stuff anymore. And then it became a conversation about her for the most part. And again, this antithesis then became the antithesis of what I was complaining about. And it also stemmed from the stupid vacation I went. Which really wasn't a vacation. That vacation, you go on vacation to relax. You don't go on vacation to deal with difficult people. And the difficult person I was dealing with was my wife at the time. You know, she wanted me help, and I wanted to do it cheap. Because that's the way I am. I don't want to be at a 4-star hotel room because the only thing I plan on doing in the hotel is sleep. As long as it's clean and I got bed, I don't care. And that's basically, it was 4-star, and I didn't think it was any real difference other than slightly bigger, and we got an extra pillow, but it cost twice as much. Ooh, we got an extra pillow. Yay, I got an extra pillow. I brought a pillow. Stupid. Anyway. Oh, it's Raffy. I like this dude. But she had to check for bed bugs and told me I told her, it's like, just you go there to sleep, you're not there to really stay. And I get told I was going to get Legionnaire's disease and a whole bunch of other crap. So if we didn't have her way, she threw a fit. And, and, then it was just being kind of rude, like I'm going to catch a disease, and because and once we got there, she checked the freaking lining and all for bed bugs and all that, and it was a big it was kind of an ordeal, and it was like that was her like most of the time, where I wanted to go to, we didn't want to go to. Took a while. She wanted the first day in the city and find out how expensive that was. I told her, you want to stay in Chicago, you might want to go to a suburb. And normally, if you go to a close enough suburb, they will have oh. Anyway, she went drive in town. I didn't really want to drive in town. We took the subway. I told her if we got on the outskirts, you go. They normally have a subway for people that that work in Chicago and live there. Well, they can go there and take the subway and use public transportation. And we ended up doing that, which was kind of awesome. Though I did see a tranny claiming that she, he, or it, I don't know what the personal pronouns was, but had asthma. And for a person that had asthma, then boy, were they very vocal about it. Didn't have any problem talking. That's full show. And a guy was kind enough to get out of his chair and let her sit, because her did not go to a guy. Went to this poor old lady, just getting laughed at about this poor old lady had to deal with this transvestite that was, oh, he was probably, he's taller than me, so he had to be 6 foot or above. I mean, just kind of towering over and say, I got asthma. And just, what can you do but watch the train wreck? And that's what we did. We watched the train wreck. I didn't say anything. Kind of wish I would have, but should have, could have, would have. One of the few times I guess I didn't speak up. So Anyway, so I was telling her all about this. Of course, having an emotional response because I was getting irritated again. This was irritating. I didn't want to go to Chicago to begin with. I didn't want a vacation to begin with. You know, she made it a priority. I wasn't even technically working full time yet, and was trying to find a full time job teaching. We're getting ready to graduate, and she just had a vacation. Her parents had a vacation. She was going to take a vacation. And I told her, well, my parents never took a vacation. We had a staycation, and it was perfectly fine. We never really went anywhere, and if you took a vacation, it was vacation spent with family to do family things like fishing or mom didn't like camping, so we never went camping, but we did stuff together. We rarely went to a carnival. We rarely went to anything, and people are like, "Oh, you had such an abusive childhood." No, I had a childhood. We just didn't do a lot of the stuff that a lot of people did. We just didn't have the money, we didn't have a lot of things, but like my mom said, we might not have a lot of things, but we have love. So she's a big dog. She needs to be bigger. Right. Done here. Over here. Probably good size. Done. And that's still true. It wasn't my mom was and my dad were like, it's not the quantity of time. People spend large amount of time together and never really have that quality time. They have a high quantity, but they have a low quality. And if you have, and we may have not a high quantity, but we have a high quality time. And I still think that rings true relatively to this day. You know, it just and I guess I didn't have that with the ex. What time I was around her, she was always complaining about something, and then she'd say that I was always complaining about something. Nothing was ever good enough for me. I was like, everything was good enough for me. I was always asking what more I could do. So, and then this person, as soon as we get in the car, she lays the staple down and she's picking the place. Like, okay, I don't care. You can go ahead and pick the place. And then it reminds me every place I picked has been horrible. It's just, I don't know if she was trying to make a joke about it, but it didn't seem like a joke, and it's been repeated a whole bunch of times. And yeah, first time is like, okay, yeah, whatever. But after the third, fourth time, that's when I start getting aggravated because, and I would like to say rightfully so, because it's been stated. Okay, I recently moved here. I haven't lived here all my life. This person has, and so they would know more about what places are good and what places are bad and so forth. And instead of forewarning me, because they openly admitted when we went to a restaurant named Denny's, it's not like the actual Denny's that you're thinking of, but Denny's and Carroll, I don't think they make a whole lot of profit off their food because it was not good. And they probably make profit off liquid bread because that's the biggest seller I saw that night. Well, excuse me, I'm going to keep this. She could have warned me, said, "Oh, I didn't hear good about things about it," because I heard a couple people talk about it and they said it was good, so I wanted to try it. But I wanted to try different stuff, and I mark stuff on Google Maps. And like, okay, I want to try this place, that place, this place. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, I want to try it. So we were at the zoo another time, and she wanted to go to one place, and I said, "Fine, we can go to that place. That's no biggie." And I was looking at nearby restaurants, and I seen an El Salvadorian restaurant. I go, "Well, I haven't had El Salvadorian in a while." And I was like, I was more than happy to go to where she wanted to go, but she's like, "No, no." She kind of insisted we go where I was looking at, and it wasn't that great of a restaurant. Uh, and she complained about it and so forth, and that's fine, I guess. But then it comes a moment of contention afterwards, because I picked Denny's and because I picked this place. I also picked the Greek restaurant. It comes reminiscent, because it's I couldn't take the X anywhere either, because there was always something wrong with it. There was always something wrong with it. If I went to one restaurant, it was the decor. She didn't like the brick, or they should have tomatoes on their sandwiches, even though it was written on there, if you want tomatoes, ask. Um, or it's too greasy, or too this, too, and that was the same way with, like, when I was cooking for her. She'd always say, like, she was grateful, but sometimes she was. Most of the time she wasn't. It had too much sauce. It had too much meat. It didn't have enough vegetables. It didn't have this. It didn't have that. It tasted different. And with other females that I've dated after that, it's been the same thing, especially with their kids. Freaking, I remember growing up, you had what's on the table. If you didn't, and you don't have anything. And a lot of these, I did a lot of single moms. And these single moms are just, they can have something afterwards. They don't lay down the law. If the kid already knows that if he doesn't want to eat his vegetables, he's not going to eat his vegetables because he's going to get Doritos later on. Well, I'm hungry. Well, you should have ate supper. Just because they go to bed hungry doesn't mean they're going to starve to death and die. Current sketch. I mean, it's just, it's asinine. So I get reminded a couple times. And then she didn't, I figured since she was picking the restaurant, she knew which one she wanted to go to. And that wasn't the case. So she picked one. She named the restaurant. And I was like, okay, well, there was one nearby that had kind of the same name. He didn't like it, so okay, it's interesting. Whatever. And we went there, and it was all right. It wasn't bad. Had miso soup, and the miso soup wasn't horrible. It was all right. I mean, I've had better. I've had worse. The curry, I had yellow or red curry, and that was really spicy. It was really good. Had decent flavor. It was a decent meal. I think it could have been a little bit less than the price for what we got, but I'm not complaining. I'm just giving a point of view. It was still all right. But that would be like my grievance, and I give reasons to my grievance. Miso soup normally had scallops. There was no scallops in it. It was seaweed, which I didn't. I like seaweed, and there's some other floaty things in there. And the chicken curry had chicken in there, and it had vegetables, and it got fried rice. Uh, I should have gotten the steamed rice, but here nor there. When the shoe's on the other foot, it's a whole different scenario. And I hear from a lot of people that's just the way it goes. Well, that's the way it goes because you allow it. I need to be less of a chicken shit and say something, but she felt like my story was in a way attacking her, and now I can see how she can believe that because that's a lot of stuff that she does. It's a lot of stuff that a lot of girls do, and they just don't know it half the time. So I mean, otherwise there wouldn't be the meme where you want where you want to eat. Well, I don't know. Well, I don't want to eat there. I don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat this. I don't want to. And I've been finding myself happier doing things by myself. Because she mentioned that she couldn't, if she saw someone eating by themselves, she would say, "Oh, how lonely is that person?" And I eat by myself, and yeah, it's kind of a lonely experience. I'm not gonna deny that. I guess it's also solitude because I don't have I have no one to talk to. That may be the case. But then again, I have no one to talk to. You know, I guess it depends on the company. I'd rather have no company, I guess, than just difficult. You know, because I remember telling the ex a couple times, like if there was a zombie apocalypse, I'd probably just end up just killing her. That sounds horrible, but I told her the reason why I would kill her because she would become a liability to everybody around us because all she did was complain. you know, and that's basically her MO. You know, she complained that she wrote me letters, but one never asking me, telling me to do stuff, and I would always tell her, like, I don't mind that you leave me stuff that you would like me to do, but I'll get what I can get done, and if I don't get the whole list, then tough. I got other stuff planned too during my day. And of course, with her, it didn't matter what you did anyway. It was never good enough. I didn't wash dishes good enough. I didn't clean this good enough. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And then, while on the same time, saying the same thing about me. And she was hypocritical. She was complaining that I left the counter dirty. And then she'd bake cookies, and there'd be cookie crumbs all over the place. And I'd say, "Hey, you left the counter dirty." Well, that's okay, because it's just cookies. It's not what I was cooking. Or one time, she got mad at me because I left the drawer halfway open. Well, that's gonna ruin the hutch. And then she left her dresser door open. And I told her, "Hey, I thought you want to close that because that could ruin the drawer system, right?" you know, it, it's what I've noticed and what I've experienced is it's a lot of times rules for thee, not for me kind of a scenario. And I'm tired. I gotta say I'm tired of it. As a guy, and some people have argued why I always drove. Well, yeah, you may always drove that time, but most of the time, in general, the guy has to make the effort. I told this to my brother too. It's like, I want 50-50. He's like, well, you gotta understand, they gotta load the kids. Like, yeah, they gotta load the kids. Mom loaded us kids every time she went grocery shopping. What's wrong with loading the kids and coming to visit somebody? Mom loaded all of us kids when we had to go visit grandma. She wanted to go visit grandma. That was a half hour away. You're telling me that our mother, could do this, but women of today can't? Well, that's just wow. Well, they shouldn't have to, Mike. So I have to incur the expense to constantly drive to maintain a relationship. Well, then I don't need to maintain a relationship. I see it with my buddies. I think when I get lonely and I kind of wish I was in a major relationship, I buy something. I look for something a guy would like on Facebook. Because 9 times out of 10, it's always this guy that's being forced to sell his stuff because the wife says so. And that is a healthy reminder. You know, just like I used to get in conversations with other females, older, and just listen to them how they talk about their husbands in a later stage of life, and they would always call them like big babies and this, that, and the other thing. It was like, wow, it just kind of shows the respect you're gonna get. As a guy, if you worked your tail off to put food on the table, to be a provider, to provide those P's, protect, provide, and how that's going to be received later on in life, because it's not. Not now you've done it this whole time, and you've tortured your body for the benefit of certain people. Well, you did it the whole time. You know, you shouldn't be whining now. You should man up. You know, the whole incident yesterday just kind of irritated me, if you can't tell, because it's it's just wrong. Every place you picked, it's been bad. Well, and then I remember saying, what about the places I picked? It's like, well, they haven't been like stellar great, but I just never complained as bad. And I think I recall one, which was the Stella Lounge that we went to. And she's like, oh, one, but how many have you picked? And in essence, I was just thinking in retrospect, there was more restaurants that I thought were like subpar. They weren't great, but I didn't think they were like completely horrible. You get you order a burger and it just comes on a bun. Not even a toasted bun, just a bun. This cook it for a bun. There's no lettuce to it. There's no dressing. And they're getting a jalapeno burger, and it came on a bun, and it came with jalapenos on it, pickled jalapenos on a bun. That's all it was. And that, I understand that's probably not gonna being a small town. I understand being in a smaller town, they're probably not gonna get someone like me all the time. So I'm not their main demographic, and I understand that. But at the same time, we're talking about places. That wasn't The place is all right, but it wasn't that great of a place. And I was told, I needed to try the fried chicken because the fried chicken was really good. And maybe, but it it still wasn't that great. I mean, there was a place called Downright Delicious in Clarinda, and that place was good. That place was awesome. Their burgers, all their burgers were good. It wasn't just throw meat on a bun. If you got a cheeseburger, it normally came with lettuce, maybe like lettuce and pickle. If you got, and then they had their specialty burgers that always had what they had on their specialty burgers, and it was awesome. I tried to try every burger that was on the list, and it was awesome. And it was a small town. Because the comment was said so much, I think that's why it bugs me. And then I think that's why it bugged her when I went off on a tangent about how the ex would do it. Just find everything wrong. And you know what? I'm laid back. If I'm going to go out, I want to enjoy myself. And I just find it sad that in order to enjoy myself, I just got to go by myself so I'm not hassled or ridiculed or made fun of what choices I make, and because I'm willing to take a chance. You know, whatever. I feel better. Anyway, enjoy my cute doggy. Oh, he's adorable. I love dogs. Yes. And I'm just gonna date this. Just me drawing, complaining. That's all. Now that it's cathartic, you know, what I want is I just want to find an independent female, has her own money, can pay for supper if she wants to. 50-50. That just wants to enjoy the ride and just have a bit of fun, enjoy the moment, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. You know, they have their own money. They don't want no money. They can afford to get their own things. They're stable, and they just want to enjoy the moment. Willing to help out, like I'm willing to help out. I mean, I've dated enough females where they had something go wrong with the house. Well, I was more than happy to fix it. They know how to fix it or whatnot. Traditionally that's a guy's role. I'd go and fix it. She had a need. I like to fulfill it and be needed. Most guys do. Win-win. Instead, it gets turned around to some stupid social thing. Anyway, have a great, wonderful one.